Hey kiddos, we are going to start our unit of color, and there is a presentation linked, and it looks like this. On the first slide, it's talking about the layout for what we're doing for our summative practice, our summative color unit. Some of you will choose to use paint, some of you will choose color pencil, and some of you may want to choose to use the digital option. The design that this video is going to be for is called non-objective. And non-objective is a design that focuses more on lines and shapes, colors, the use of tints, the use of shades to create a feeling. When people take a look at the design, everyone is going to have a different idea as to what the artist was trying to convey. You might look at a non-objective artwork and see a spilled over soda. And I might look at it and see clouds in the sky. It's all based on our past experiences. So what you create is going to be based on more of shapes and lines and color and less on things looking completely realistic. For this design, the first thing you need to do is to take a look at this slide, and you're going to choose one of these designs. This is going to be a starter. You're going to base your artwork on this, but you're going to grow from it and make it your own. So take a look. You've got 6 choices. Take a look and make your choice. All right, so now getting down to drawing out your design. These are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need a sheet of paper. I just have a blank sheet of paper that's white. Use whatever you have. If you think that you're going to be using acrylic paint, it doesn't have to be white. It could be a piece of cardboard, okay? But if you're going to be doing color pencil or the digital version, you want it to be white, okay? Or a really light value. You're also going to need your pencil. I've got an eraser. If your pencil has an eraser, great. That'll work just fine. And you're going to need something round. And it doesn't need to be perfectly round. You can certainly draw it by hand for all intensive purposes. But you want it to be about the size of when you put your index finger and your thumb together, because we're going to be redrawing that circle that you've chosen. First thing that we're going to do is I am going to draw with the pencil a border that's about the width of my finger. Okay, I am going to try and use light pressure, but if I go too light, you're not going to be able to see it. So I'll try and use medium pressure. Yeah, you guys can see that. I'm using medium pressure. You guys should use light pressure, okay? So that when you apply the color pencil or when you apply the paint, that the pencil's not popping through. And I'm going to continue this edge all the way around. Now, if you want to use a ruler because you're more of a perfectionist, or a straight edge, that's totally up to you. Okay, back up to the top and then finishing this off. Trying to make it as straight and as even as possible, but there we go. All right. Now imagine that this is what I've just drawn. We're going to be placing that circle, that starter piece, into what is called the rule of thirds composition rule. And I'm just going to draw this out. You don't draw this on your paper. You don't need to. And imagine that we're going to place that circle starter piece in one of these 4 areas. Okay, because what we don't want, this is going to essentially become your focal point, the place where the viewer's eye is going to be drawn first. If it was along the edge or perfectly in the center, it's not as interesting. So imagine that those lines are dividing your paper, and you want to choose either point A, B, C, or D, okay? And then I'm going to place my round object, and very lightly I'm going to draw that circle, okay? Doesn't need to be perfect. You can even draw it by hand if you want, okay? But we're going about this size. All right. Are you with me? Awesome. Now, my presentation station, I've got my laptop over in this direction, and I'm looking at that slide that has those 6 circles on it. You're going to choose one of those and redraw it in this circle. And you want to redraw it as best as you can, just as it is on that presentation. All right, so you can see that I have duplicated that circle as best as I can, including as many of the details as I could possibly muster. And I did not use a straight edge. If you are more of a perfectionist, you can certainly use a ruler, or you can use the straight edge of a paper to go back and straighten up some of those lines, okay? Totally up to you and what your style is all about. And so now we're going to do what's called expanding the circle. And what that means is, right now, this line that defines the circle is kind of enclosing it. And so as best as I can, I am going to erase that circle shape. Okay, that circle, that line that is defining the circle is not going to be part of the overall design. Everything's just gonna become its own entity, okay? So the circle, we wanna break through that line, okay? So very carefully, I'm going to erase the circle, but keep all of my other lines, okay? Now, these lines, in any direction, are going to begin to grow, okay? So little by little, you're gonna have these lines emerge and break free, and they're gonna turn into what you want it to be. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm just going a little bit at a time. If I started going too fast, I'm gonna lose the vision. Okay, right now this angle is going at this diagonal. If I want, I can grow it a little bit, and then, maybe I'll go in that downward. I'll create that new angle right there. Okay, maybe this one will grow with it. Then maybe this one will overlap it, okay? But you're gonna do this throughout your design, and you're going to expand it until you are met by the borders, okay? Now, I don't have to keep these straight. If I wanted to all of a sudden start making it curve, start doing zigzags, that's totally up to you. This is your design, okay? So finish that up.